नाचे गौर झूले झूले गोरा चंद वृंदावन करू कथा प्रेम को ये हरि कथा प्रेम को ये हरि कथा वृंदावन करू कथा निकुंज के गुली निकुंज पाखी गुली हरे राम झूले झूले गोरा चंद गोरा बोले हरी हरी चारे बोले हरी हरी गोरा बोले हरी हरी गोरा बोले हरी हरी चारे बोले हरी हरी मुखे मुखे सुख चारी मुखे मुखे सुख चारी हरि नाम का झूले गौरा चा हरि नाम नाथ हरि नाथी तेरे हरि नाम नाथी हरि नाथी अकेला झूले झूले गोरा चंद हरे हरि ध्याने हरि बोलो हरि धने हरि धने हरि हरि बोल हरि हरि राम हरि राम झूले झूले गोरा चाँद झूलता आतिया जमुना सुने नाचे हरि हरि आतिया जमुना सुने नाचे हरि हरि बोले जमुना उठोले जमुना उठोले धोया झूले झूले गोरा हरे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Prabhupada, श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की श्रील प्रभुपाद की. The moonlike Lord Gaurchandra arrived in Vrindavan while dancing, swaying to and fro, and singing the glories of Lord Hari. The creepers adorning the trees of Vrindavan are overwhelmed with ecstatic love, and they are speaking about the glories of Lord Hari. Flocks of birds who live in the grave are singing the name of Lord Hari. Lord Gora says, Hari Hari. A female parrot says, Hari Hari. Then all the male and female parrots start singing a loud chorus of the name of Hari. Becoming intoxicated by the holy name, the deer come forward from out of the forest. The peacocks and the peahens are dancing and frolicking in ecstatic love. Lord Hari is in his heart. Lord Hari is in his meditation. And he always chants the name of Hari with his voice. Gaur Chandra, Gaur Chand is intoxicated by ecstatic mellows and rolls around on the ground while singing Harinam. Arriving on the bank of Yamuna river, he dances wildly while chanting Hari Hari. Mother Yamuna becomes so ecstatic that she arises and comes forward to wash Lord Gauranga's feet. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Cheva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudire नष्ट प्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवते उत्तम श्लोकैर्भक्तिर्भक्तिनिष्ठिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंद गोप कुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो Hare Krishna. So welcome you all. We are reading today from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, first canto, 14th chapter, verse number 4, the disappearance of Lord Krishna. Jim prayam vyavahartam satyamishram chasoridham pitramatra surudbhratra dampatinam kalkinam. Jim prayam vyavahartam satyamishram chasoridham Petramatra Surudbhratra Dampatinam Chakalkanam Jim Prayam Vyavahartam Satyamishram Chasoridam Petramatra Surudbhratra Dampatinam Chakalkanam Jim Prayam Vyavahartam Satyamishram Chasoridam Petramata Surudbhratra Dampatinam Chakalkanam Jim Prayam Vyavahartam Satyamishram Chasoradam Petramatra Surudbhratra Dampatinam Chakalkanam Jim Prayam Vyavahartam Satyamishram Chasoradam Petramatra Surudbhratra Dampatinam Chakalkanam. Any Mataji? Jim Prayam Vyavahartam Satyamishram Chasoradam Petramatra Surudbhratra Dampatinam Chakalkanam Jim Prayam mostly cheating Vyavahartam in all ordinary transactions Satya with duplicity Mishram adulterated in Cha and Sorudam regarding friendly well-wishers Petra father Matra regarding the mother Surat well-wishers Bhratra one's own brother Dampatina regarding husband and wife Cha also Kalkanam mutual quarrel. Translation and purport by Divine Grace Abhay Charanarvind Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupāda ki jai. All ordinary transactions and dealings become polluted with cheating even between friends. And in familial affairs, there are always misunderstandings between fathers, mothers, and sons, between well-wishers and between brothers. Even between husband and wife, there are always strain and purport. A conditioned living being is endowed with four principles of malpractice, namely errors, insanity, inability, and cheating. These are the signs of imperfections, and out of the four, the propensity to cheat others is most prominent. And this cheating practice is there in the conditioned soul because they are in the material world, primarily due to their being endued or imbued with an unnatural desire to lord it over the material world. A living being in his pure state is not conditioned by the laws of material nature, but by laws of material nature, because in his pure state he is conscious that a living being is eternally subservient to the supreme being, and that is always, and that it is always good for him to remain subservient instead of falsely trying to lord it over the property of the supreme lord. In the conditioned state, the living being is not satisfied even if he actually becomes the lord of all that he surveys, which he never becomes. And therefore, he becomes the victim of all kinds of cheating, even by his nearest and the most intimate relations. In such an unsatisfactory state of affairs, there is no harmony, even between father and sons or between husband and wife. But all these contending difficulties can be mitigated by one process, and that is the devotional service of the Lord. The world of hypocrisy can be checked only by the counteraction through devotional service to the Lord and nothing else. Maharaj Yudhishthir, having observed the disparities, disparities, conjectured the disappearance of the Lord from the earth. Om Jnananmirandasya Jnananjana चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवां च श्रीरूपं चाग्रजातां सहगणा रङ्गाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजना सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देव श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगणा ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितं स नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादे पाश्चात देश तारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरतसे नमः हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधुते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्णा. Hare Krishna. So first of all, seek blessings of all the devotees present here, and especially His Grace Avadhuti Mahaprabhu. He is humbly sitting here, very senior, both in age and devotion. Hare Krishna. So that I can speak something in glorification of the Lord. And today is the most auspicious day of Satyala Ekadasi and also Makar Sankranti. Correct? So coming about the discussing about the context of today's shloka. So here in this particular chapter, actually now Arjuna is visiting, Hastinapur. Oh, sorry, Dwarka. When Krishna went, actually, then that time actually Arjuna was also sent along with him. So, sorry, in the next visit, actually Arjuna goes to see, to meet Krishna, but then he did not find Krishna. He sees only the 16,108 queens there, and Krishna gave the responsibility of protecting them. He could not protect them. He comes back now, and he is going and reporting to Yudhishthir Maharaj. And Arjuna was like, not speaking anything, like very morose, dull-headed, dull in his consciousness, and he was just standing in front of Yudhishthir Maharaj, not speaking anything. So Yudhishthir Maharaj was anxious. Sorry, what happened? Why are you becoming? Why are you not speaking anything? Have you not fulfilled the desire, of a woman who, asked you for protection? Have you not, protected an innocent being? Like this Kshatriya principles, he tells many things, and because of that, are you, sad? Or somebody told you to give up your Gandiva because Arjuna took a vow. Anybody tells me to give up my Gandiva, I'll kill him, like that. So, like this, many questions he asks. Yudhishthira Maharaj asked to Arjuna, and Arjuna was still not saying anything. And meanwhile, actually, Yudhishthira Maharaj describes all these effects of Kali Yuga, also, which are generally there in Kali Yuga. But when Lord Krishna disappeared, actually, they were appearing more, nicely, actually, in the time. So Yudhishthira Maharaj was able to see that actually the husband and wife, they are fighting, and people are fighting. So Kalaha, Kalkanam, the Kalaha is descending more and more. So Kali Yuga is defined by two characteristics. What are those? Quarrel and hypocrisy. And generally, the quarrel or hypocrisy takes place, or the hypocrisy begins with these four defects. What are the four defects Prabhupada talks here in the purport? So we have imperfect senses. Because of that, we get illusion. And when we get illusion, we try to hide. That's called cheating. And then, sorry, we make mistakes, then we try to hide it. That is cheating. And then cheating. This is the fourth principle. So that is by default, it is there actually in the conditioned living entities. As we have come in the material world, these four defects are bound to be there. Whether it is Brahmaji or even an insignificant ant, everybody has these four defects actually. We are all also endowed with these four defects. That is the reason actually we are supposed to take shelter of the Shruti Shastras or the scriptures and the Guru Sadhana Shastra, the tripod. Then actually it is balanced. Otherwise, we just take shelter of a person who says that I am God, and then you have no means to verify. Then finally you feel that, Arey, I've been worshipping him, that he is God, but at the end of life I got to know that he's not God. So what is this process? So then we feel again cheated up. So Prabhupada said that actually cheaters are there in the material world because people want to get cheated actually. Correct? Na? People want cheaper, things. So that is why then they get cheated actually. But when they come to Krishna consciousness, they have to pay a heavy price. What is the heavy price that they have to pay? Giving up their false ego actually. That is very difficult. One can do yoga practices, one can do, jnana practice, one can do even karma kanda also. None of these processes involve giving up of ego, false ego actually. But bhakti process is very difficult to practice. Mainly because of what? One has to give up the false ego. One has to accept humbly that I have these four defects. In other processes, this is not there actually. So bhakti yoga actually cures the disease from the root. Like see sometime in Ayurveda that talks about curing a disease from the root. Correct? No. Not only just see the external symptom and then cure that particular symptom, but the doctor is respected for his capacity to specifically treat the treatment or the disease with its root, that again it doesn't appear. Then the doctor is very much adorned and liked by the people, in general. Correct? No? So similarly, the Vedic scriptures, they also talk about the solution to problems. They talk to the solution of the problem from the root itself. First they want to remove the root. And what is the main root or the condition because of which we get entangled in the material world? Avidya. Correct? Na? Like you see that cycle of sin. So there is avidya that is like on the top, and then because of that avidya, what we do? We do activities, karma. Some are papa karma, some are punya karma, but that leads to reaction. The kutam, bijam, phalam, papam, and then again the cycle continues. But the input is what? Avidya, ignorance actually. So bhakti yoga talks about removing the root itself. Then the tree only will not grow. Correct? No. So the avidya is removed actually. So Prabhupada talks about in the purport about giving up, that we have these four defects, we have to accept. And because of these four defects, everywhere there is the hypocrisy and quarrel. Fights are going on. People promise something and then they don't follow it. Correct? Na? Many times we say something and then we ourselves also forget that I promised like this kind of thing. Correct? No? And then we'll end up in quarrel. आपने ऐसे बोला था मेरे को, मैंने उस time पे ऐसे बोला था, and things like that. And then there is lot of difficulties and things like that. That is why nowadays actually there are recordings, the meetings has to be recorded. The documents has to be documented, because people have no trust. They have a lot of hypocrisy actually. But when everything is well documented, that time you can't do any. In that also people try to find out some loopholes anyways. But in general, people try to overcome these four defects by all these mechanical means. But the only way that one can overcome these four defects that Prabhupada talks in this purport is by devotional service to the Lord. So we'll just quickly discuss actually about how devotional service to the Lord brings all auspiciousness for the living entity. Sri Sri Radha Madhava Bhagwan ki jai. So once it so happened that there was a devotee in a village who was practicing, some sort of devotional service, but was not very, staunch devotional service. And he was informed by the villagers that actually outskirts in the village there is a sannyasi who has come for giving a lecture. And this particular person was actually very close to the king. So he said, "Are king is very much fond of devotees." So then he goes to the king and he says, "There is a person who has come to give Bhagavatam class and things like that." So then the king says, "Yes, yes, please invite him, for the Bhagavatam class." So then the saintly devotee comes and he sits on Vyasasan and he asks the first question. Okay, how many of you believe in God? How many of you believe in God? Everybody is raising hand. So what he does, he gets up and goes away. And then everybody was surprised. Arey, what happened? क्यों चला गया उठ के एकदम अचानक से? Then the king and this devotee also ran behind him and they asked, क्या हुआ साधु जी, साधु महात्मा? He said, everybody believes in God, then what is the need of lecture actually? They are all more exalted than me. I am atheist only actually. Because I don't have so much faith, so I can't give lecture to these people. They are more qualified than me. So they said, नहीं, आप बैठो फिर वापस. Then again he sat on the Vyasa. फिर से क्वेश्चन पूछा, how many people believe in God? So this time actually what they did, nobody raised hand. He said, all atheist. I will become atheist actually. Whatever faith I have, I will lose that also. I'm not having that much capacity that I can deliver you all. So he again gets up and starts walking up. Again the king and the saintly devotee, they run behind him and they say, sir, sorry. कुछ तो miscommunication हो गया. आप फिर से बैठो lecture के लिए. This time things will be fine and all. Again he sits on Vyasasan and again asks question. How many of you believe in God? So by that time actually they send a message in the Sabha that 50% of you say yes, 50% of you say no. So 50% said we believe in God. Other 50% they did not raise hand. So then he says, okay, those of you who believe in God now, preach to those who don't believe in God. Again he gets up and walks off. Actually. So what is the moral of the story? The moral of the story is actually many times people become gullible. Gullible means when this kind of wave comes, then they will go this side. When this kind of wave comes, then they go that side. So technically Prabhupada calls it as maramachli, dead fish. What happens to the dead fish in the ocean? When the waves go up, the dead fish goes up. When the waves go down, then the dead fish there and there, like this. So sometime actually we may also become like this. When we are there in the association of devotees, yes, Prabhuji, bhakti karna chahiye, ye karna chahiye, wo karna chahiye. But when we come in the association of those people who are aspiring actually materially, a lot of material wealth, position, and followers and things like that, then one goes and talks like this kind of things. All these things are there mainly because of the four defects. Correct, no? But devotional service to the Lord alone can bring all auspiciousness in the life of a person. And that we see even in the scriptures also. We see that Mrigari, who was hunting actually the animals and he was killing the animals half. Narad Muni comes and says, "Arey, why are you killing the animals half? Why don't you kill them full?" And he was surprised. अरे आज तक किसी ने ऐसा नहीं बोला मेरे को कि मेरे को जानवर को पूरा मारना चाहिए. सबको आके ऐसा एडवाइस दिया है कि I should not kill them only. But what kind of advice he is giving me? So then he went and actually he thought, I'll first punish this fellow and then, I'll see. So he tried killing even Narad Muni also. Nothing happened to Narad Muni. Then he was surprised even more. Then Narad Muni shows him the future. Then he comes to his senses, goes back actually to his family members, discusses, will you share the sin with me, whatever activity that I have done? They all say, no, it is your duty to maintain us. How you maintain it, that is your responsibility. Why we should share your sins? So then he comes back again to Narad Muni and surrenders his life. Correct or no? So the Mrigari, who was a celebrated hunter actually, very famously known for killing the animals half, became a celebrated devotee of Lord Krishna. So much so that he was not wanting to hurt even the ants also. Correct or no? So devotional service to the Lord, actually the first characteristics when one starts performing devotional service is one feels subhada, one feels all auspiciousness actually. That's the first characteristics. One gets relieved of the pangs of the material world actually, the material miseries. And then one wants to give that experience of that joy to others also. That is called actually called technically called preaching actually. Correct? Na? So as devotees, it is our duty also actually to spread Krishna consciousness more and more. So sometimes actually when we come across materialistic people, they have a lot of their own preconceived notions and ideas about devotional service, and even about whatever philosophy is also being told in or they read actually in the Karma Kanda scriptures. Even for that matter, Mahabharata is also written from the point of view of Karma Kanda only. You may see that the Pandavas, they are getting they are leaving the world and they are going to heavenly planets, and then eventually they go to hell. And in the hell actually Yudhishthira Maharaj sees Arjun and Bhima suffering there. What is this? And when he goes to heaven, he sees Duryodhana and party there enjoying actually. So one party, those who did all sinful activity, they are in the heaven, and those who are pious actually, they did not do any abominable activities, they are in the hell. So people get actually Karmakandi people, they get completely mesmerized, bewildered only. What is this that is going on actually? And then Krishna also, at the end, actually, when he leaves, the material world, he leaves one illusory body. So people say that, like we went to this Prabhas Kshetra, right? Dwarka Yatra. And there is, what is that place? Balka Tirth. Correct? There Lord Krishna actually left one illusory body also. So why Krishna did like this kind of thing? So Prabhupada in that purport actually describes why Krishna left an illusory body actually for the people in the world. Because he was wanting to give option, those who don't want to believe him in his supremacy, let them continue. He did all kinds of superhuman activities, like he lifted Govardhan Hill. And surprisingly, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, you know what he says? Krishna did not lift Govardhan on the on his small finger. No, not small finger. It was the tip of the nail of the small finger, not the small finger full. Just imagine. Tip of the nail of the small finger. Can you imagine? That much details are given. There is a difference between tip of the nail and the finger itself. Finger itself means like this, and tip of means it is somewhere like just touching it. And how many days and nights? 7 days and nights. Outside Indra was miserable. Inside all Brajavasis they were having nice festival actually. Nice festivities were going on, things like that. So whatever activity that Krishna did, all superhuman activities actually. Like he brought his Guru's sons also back to life. That is what the Guru Dakshina he paid. And Krishna learned all the arts in how many days? 64 days. He learned everything. In fact, the Yadus they brought actually the Sudharma assembly hall of the demigods actually to the Dwarka. Sudharma, this assembly hall was such a place where one will not feel, birth, old age, death, disease, or, the three miseries, Adi Atmik, Adi Bhautik, Adi Devik, Klesha also, in the Sudharma assembly hall. So the Yadus, they brought it, and the demigods, they were crying, but they couldn't do anything actually, because the Yadus, they were very powerful. So they did all sorts of superhuman activities, specifically Krishna. Without fighting the battle of Kurukshetra, actually, he made Pandavas one. Correct? So many actually superhuman activities he did. Now, Krishna and Balram, they just walked actually out of the mountain, and our the other side actually, Jarasandha was trying to burn them. Nothing happened to them. Correct? So many superhuman activities Krishna did that by default everybody is to believe that actually Krishna is the Supreme Lord. So then those who are following the other process, what are the other processes? Jnana Kanda, Karma Kanda, and Yoga Siddhis and things like that. Nobody will follow that. Correct. So in order to give faith, to people in the teachings of the Vedas, Krishna left one illusory body actually. That is the reason Prabhupada cites actually in the purport. But materialistic people, they don't know these things. So they will say that, oh, Krishna left one body. So ultimately everybody is bound by what? Karma. Because Krishna also has to give up his body. What is the reason? why this Jara actually shot the arrow? Because previously, Lord Ram shot arrow to Bali. So that Bali appeared as Jara and then he shot the arrow. So Krishna also has to incur the reaction of his karma that he did previously. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Sarva dharman paritejya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami. I'll get you relieved of all the karmas. Now a person who can get you relieved of all karmas cannot get himself relieved of karmas. Can you imagine? Like this kind of controversy. So in order to give faith actually to the materialistic people, Krishna gave one illusory body. So let them also continue with their philosophy. Their followers, they continue with this kind of thing that ultimately karma is supreme. Karma is ultimate. Karm karo, fal ki ichha mat karo. Like that. That is what the philosophy people, talk about. And in the Vedic time also it was very, prominent. Why Vedic time, these things were prominent? Okay, I will do pious activities. Now I will, whatever body I have, but I will go to heavenly planets. I will enjoy there. Correct or no? But, ultimately Krishna says that even at the time of, annihilation, when this annihilation is there, that time for one full day of Brahma, actually we all will be sleeping where? First in Garbhodaksha, Garbhodaksha Vishnu's body, and then at the end of the annihilation of the universe itself, we'll be lying in actually in the body of Mahavishnu. That time we don't have a body to enjoy. So better not continue in the material world, better go to spiritual world actually. So that is what actually Krishna is trying to teach. But materialistic people, they are determined thieves actually. You know what is determined thief? उसको कितना भी समझा दो वो वही करेगा जो उसको अच्छा लगता है. करेक्ट नो? जो उसकी बुद्धि में आ गए. जितना उसको कितना भी समझा दो कि ये आपके लिए अच्छा नहीं है, फिर भी वो he is convinced actually. So there is a saying that you cannot convince a person against his will. Correct no? He will remain of the same opinion still. Correct. Whatever opinion he has already formed, he will continue with the same opinion only. So this kind of people, they are called actually determined thieves. And this kind of determined thieves, we should keep distance. And those who are innocent, we should preach them actually. So, how Krishna consciousness brings auspiciousness in the life of a people, that we see actually through the example of Prabhupada. How Prabhupada brought auspiciousness in the life of hippies. See, all the hippies, they were there in America, always, high on, drugs, high on, alcohol, high on, smoking, meat eating, gambling, illicit sex. This is their lifestyle. Like we get up early in the morning and we brush, like that the hippies, they'll get up and, they would drink actually alcohol. This is how they would brush. Like that. And there are places actually where these things are, very prominently present, of breaking of regulatory principles. But just by the, presence of Śrīla Prabhupāda, actually all auspiciousness came in their lives. They all became, many of them, they became sannyasis, they became brahmanas, started worshipping deities, following four regulative principles, chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and so many things. Similarly, it is not only in the life of hippies, it is in our own lives also. How come, we are having some opportunity to be there in the association of devotees, discuss Krishna Katha, read Krishna Katha, then chant the holy name of the Lord, have the darshan of the beautiful form of the Lord, take every day 3 times prasadam. None of us actually prepared our consciousness when we actually were there in our engineering days, or when we were there studying, or we were doing our job. At time, none of us were prepared actually for this kind of lifestyle. But devotees came actually, and they brought Krishna consciousness in our life, and all auspiciousness started coming. Whatever bad habits were there, all those bad habits also slowly disappeared. Now we are all actually sitting, in white dhoti kurta like swans, and discussing the pure pastimes of the Lord. Actually, all this happened because of the presence of devotional service through devotees. So devotees are the way, the means actually for our deliverance. So we should not do these 4 things in the association of devotees. What are the 4 things? The 4 things that Prabhupada talks about, specifically cheating. Because Prabhupada says this cheating propensity is the most prominent. At least that is in our hand. The other three are not in our hand. Getting illusion, is that in our hand? Imperfect senses, is there in our hand? Correct? Then one more is committing mistake. Is that in our hand? No. Because we have imperfect senses, because of that, what we will do? We get illusion first. And because of that illusion, we'll commit mistakes. But then at least we should not try to hide it. When we try to hide it, we think that actually we are cheating. But ultimately, who gets cheated? We only get cheated up. Like I'll give an example. I was there actually in PES voice during those days preaching. And one of the devotee, little, no, I was the authority, so-called voice in charge there. And I used to be like, no, very strict as usual about morning program. Morning program, no compromise. For regulatory principle, no compromise. So one day, one of the inmates, I saw him, he was not coming regularly for morning program. So I just caught him, gave him little scoldings, and said, "Come for morning program one time." So he, formed some conception and perception about me. And one fine day, he came and said, "I'm going out. I'm shifting back to hostel." And he did not inform me also. He did not inform anybody. And he just went out. And everybody was worried. Even I was also worried. What happened? Just imagine that you just lose your devotee like this. And then he called one of our senior and he said he left the voice because me. I'm always there on the top of his head and sitting and monitoring and saying that come for morning program, this, that, and all. So that's why I'm going. So then I felt very bad. The Shishirada Madhav ki, the Shri Gaudita ki, Śrīla Prabhupāda ki. So I felt very bad actually in the heart that because of me somebody left. And I was very morose for few days at least to show outside to the devotee that I'm morose and things like that. But then after 3 years actually he passed out. Again he came in contact with devotees. Again he spoke to me. That time I spoke to him and I said, Prabhu, what was the thing that because of which you left actually? So I felt very bad actually. And till date I am regretting that I did not behave with you properly and because of which you went out. He said, no, 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 Prabhu, all those were just external reasons. I just wanted some excuse to go out of association of devotees. Actually, I was addicted to watching of some dirty movies and things like that. That's why I just thought of getting out. And I thought I should not contaminate this place and all. I said, my Lord, last 3 years I've been regretting like anything, and you went out of this. Of course, Krishna had some lessons to teach me also to make me humble. But what I learned, then eventually, actually, my seniors also, they also got to know that he left because of this. Previously, they were very much worried, about my behavior and strictness and things like that. But then later, they said, okay, no problem, continue your services normally, things like that. And once he gave that feedback, actually, I was changed. Actually, my project was changed from one project to another project. I was sent out. So that now let other devotees take care of the center. And I said, okay, fine, no problem, whatever is there. Not much, we will continue. So we may think that actually we are cheating others only, but ultimately who gets cheated? We only get cheated. Now this devotee who was practicing Krishna consciousness, I asked him that all other things are normal. He said, no, Prabhu, actually once I went out of association of devotees, then I had some relationship with some girl, and then later I got to know that actually that girl had already been in association of somebody else, and then I felt that actually she had cheated me. And eventually after contemplation I came to the conclusion that I can cheat others, I can cheat devotees by saying citing some reason and get out. But then when I went out, actually all inauspiciousness only came in my life. I got a job, but most of that money actually I spent for her, did not give to parents also. But then ultimately she also cheated me. So we may think that actually we are cheating others, but ultimately who gets cheated up? We only get cheated up actually. Correct, no? So this is the truth. So whenever this cheating tendency comes, that means we have to inform the devotees that actually we are only getting cheated up. Suppose somebody has some weakness and he is feeling that how can I reveal my heart, then don't go to anybody who just puts that on his status, WhatsApp status. ये devotee का ये problem है तो ये solution होगा and things like that. Like once it so happened in Vrindavan also, that there was a brahmachari devotee who had some health issues. In the night, actually, he would pass water without his information, without his knowledge only. So he went to the temple president and he said, Prabhuji, I have this problem. Please help me out. And Prabhuji started laughing. क्या बच्चा है क्या तू छोटा बच्चा है क्या छोटे बच्चे भी नहीं करते आजकल तो ऐसा and things like that. He started laughing like it. So he felt bad, but he thought at least he will help me. And next day, Prabhuji was giving Bhagavatam class and he told, in our brahmachari ashram there is a devotee. He passes water in the night while sleeping only. That was the last class that he attended. He packed his luggage and he went away actually. So don't go and tell, your weaknesses to a person who will just make fun of you or who will try to dominate you and things like that. But go to a mature person who can help you to come out of the conditioning actually and to come out of those cheating propensities. So specifically the cheating propensity is there in the living entities a lot, correct? No? And in case if it is there in the association of devotees, then automatically this is how actually Kali enters. Once Kali Yuga enters, it enters like a pin, comes out like a plow, and then we will see that I'm thrown out of association of devotees. Or the other thing that may happen is after practicing even for many years of Krishna consciousness, still one feels, I did not make any progress, I did not make any advancement. Why that kind of feelings are coming up? Mainly because of this cheating propensity actually. That we hide things. We try to think that I will hidingly do these things and I will maintain both material status also and spiritual status also. Materially I will enjoy, spiritually also I will progress. But one will not get any taste in Krishna consciousness or the higher juice of the practice of bhakti rasa will not enter in the heart of such a devotee actually. So time is already 8:30. Just to conclude with what we discussed in the beginning actually that the four propensities are there in the conditioned souls, present in abundance, and Kali Yuga is known for it. And Yudhishthira Maharaj was inquiring like this kind of things actually from Arjuna also. But devotional service to the Lord only brings all auspiciousness. But in sadhaka's life, that will become, the progress will become more faster and swifter when we practice our Krishna consciousness, at least free from cheating propensity. We become innocent like a child actually. Then initially somebody may think that actually, this fellow is having this kind of conditioning and things like that. But as we reveal actually our heart, we behave as we are out inside, then eventually actually our seniors also will take compassion on us and they will also help us actually to come out of those conditions. Okay, thank you very much. Śrīla Prabhupāda ki jai. Any questions or comments? Yes, Abhishek. By the way, today is Makar Sankranti. So today the sun enters to Uttarayan. So just imagine how scientific the Vedic knowledge is. From day one they have been telling sun moves, not earth. Sun is the one that is moving, not earth. Because sun enters, not earth enters. Yes. So why this is because of the four defects. See, when we are there with devotees, we want to show ourselves as good devotee. So we want to impress devotees and say that Prabhu, I am also very nice devotee. But when we are there with the materialistic people, we want to impress them also. So that is what cheating only. That's what I'm saying. But devotee should be, he may hide actually his, devotional, attitude and things in the materialistic world. So deal that much only. But don't try to impress the materialistic people. Our job is actually to please the Supreme Lord, not to please or impress the materialistic people actually. But when we go in the association of actually outsiders, we try to become over smart and things like that. That is simply cheating propensity actually. Yes, Vishnu. I'm not saying Prabhupada says that.
then because it will take them away from Krishna, right? I don't understand.
Very nice question. The question is, why Krishna has to leave an illusory body in order to give faith to the atheist people or those who are following karma is supreme, philosophy and things like that. Why Krishna has to do this kind of, pastime actually? He would have done something else. But by the way, whatever Krishna did, that was best. First thing. Because he's a perfect person. He's beyond for defects. Since he's perfect person, so whatever he did is best. So our question should be actually how to understand, perfectly the perfect plan of the perfect master. Not that he should have done something else. That means what we are thinking that we are better than him. Understanding that is first point. So not to make fun of you, but just to correct your understanding. That is the first thing. That whatever the Lord did, that was the best thing. And you are saying that actually the Lord would have done in some such a way that actually they are all convinced that actually is supreme. So many things already he did, but still they are called what? Determined thieves. They will take that one small thing and then they'll say no, 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 this is not proper. 99% Krishna is saying that I am supreme Lord, but why he has to give them, why he has to act that way? Because he has created the material world for what? One particular purpose for which he has created the material world. Okay, reformation. Then see, the material world Krishna has created out of love for the living entities. And what is the love? Because they wanted to be independent of Krishna and they wanted to be there in the material world. So since he has sent them to the material world, out of love, at least he gives them excuse. Okay, no problem. I'm giving you 99 reasons to come to me, but still you are determined. You don't want to come to me. Then they say, but we also need some reason to continue here. Okay, I'll fulfill that desire also. So when the Lord did this, he did it out of love and compassion and mercy. That aspect we have to see. That why that Lord has to do this way? Because he loves them also. That is the actually characteristic of a person who loves us. A person who loves us, he will give us free will. If a person doesn't love us, then he will not give free will. Like just imagine, suppose your father takes you to the shop and he says, "Today is Makar Sankranti, Vishnu Prabhu, I'll purchase new clothes for you." And then you say, "Bro, Papa, I like this T-shirt." He said, "No, no, no, no. I like only shirt for you, and that too yellow color. Makar Sankranti, na yellow color you wear." No, no, I like actually pink color. No, 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 no. Because I love you, just take pink color. Now you are actually getting new clothes, correct? Are you happy or you will become more miserable? You will become more miserable, correct or no? Because if he loves you, then he will get things of your choice, not of his choice. He will not impose on you. If he imposes on you, then you will feel frustrated. That's why many times children they become frustrated actually because parents they superimpose too much actually on them. Then also they become frustrated actually. But that is not so the parents they think that this is the characteristic of their love, but that is not the characteristic of the love. The child is actually going more and more away. So in case if Krishna does that like that kind of thing, then people will say Krishna is so egoistic. See, just by reading Bhagavad Gita only, many people are saying Krishna is so egoistic. Actually. He's saying, I am Sarvasya Prabhu, Matta Sarvam Pravartate. I am the Supreme Master. Sarva Dharman Parijaya, surrender unto me. Maam Ekam, Akele Mereko. Why is he so egoistic, Baba? Hare? Krishna is saying truth only. That itself they are saying as what? Egoistic. No, what to speak of other things. So 99 point things he is doing already, to claim the conditions all back to God. And 1% are saying, no, 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 we don't want to continue. Give us some reason. Krishna will say, okay, take this reason and continue in the material world. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Avadut Mahaprabhu, anytime you want to add anything, feel free to, sir. Yes, ma'am. How many we have holiday today? Holiday. The two devotees. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Lecture to the sloka. Like we discussed about four defects. Prabhupada discusses about the four defects. So major thing that we discussed was about the purport because this is diamond purport. So one Prabhupada says about the 4 defects. Prabhupada talks about auspiciousness of devotional service. That also we discussed. And Prabhupada in the translation actually it comes that in Kali Yuga these are the characteristics. So the characteristics specifically that we focus more on cheating propensity. That how in the devotional service also we may think sometime that we are trying to cheat others, but who gets cheated up? We only get cheated. I'll give one more example. Uh, in one of our center out of Bangalore, one cook devotee was there. So this cook devotee was hired actually from Bengal, and devotees told him that Prabhu, you have to follow 4 regulative principles for sure. Otherwise, we will not keep you. He said, okay, Prabhuji, I'll follow 4 regulative principles. So he would enter in one room, lock the room, and then play kirtan. After playing kirtan, actually, he will watch something dirty. And he was not married actually. The devotee, they would think that, Prabhuji, katha sun raha hai, class sun raha hai, and things like that. One day it so happened that one devotee was sleeping inside the room. The room was empty. The devotee was sleeping in the room in the corner. This Prabhu enters, bolts the room, plays lecture or kirtan, whatever, and then he starts watching. Now this devotee was there inside actually, he sighed. He said, Prabhu, what you are doing? आप क्या मेरे को पता नहीं था ये वो ऐसे गलती से खुल गया and things like that. Then they took his mobile, they checked all history actually. Then they found him. That Prabhu, you are not a right person actually here to stay. So he was thinking actually by closing and bolting the room and things like that, actually he cheating others, but ultimately he got cheated up. That is one thing. Secondly, when he goes by, actually, let's say when we leave the body, that time Yamaraj will see all the data. क्या क्या गुल खिलाया आपने भौतिक जगत में. He will see all the data, correct? Paramatma will say. That time also actually पूरा निकल के आएगा ना. So then why to hide it? So he, and after that actually we sent out a message that Prabhus, please don't have faith in his character. This person is not a right person whom you can hire to all our centers, all ISKCON voice centers actually. Till date he is not getting job and he keeps calling and says, Prabhu, I promise I'll use only button phone and I will just do cooking only, please hire me. Nobody is ready to take him. He thought he cheating others, but ultimately who got cheated? Now he's doing actually some farming and things like that. Did not get even married also. Just imagine. So we think that we cheat others, but ultimately who gets cheated up? That person. So that is what actually we focused more. That in the association of devotees, at least to we should not try to hide or we should not try to cheat devotees in terms of the 4 regulative principles at least. That we should be very strict about. Other things, let's say some imperfection happen. Let's say in the kitchen you took some prasad extra, gulab jamun लेके खा गए, ठीक है कोई बात नहीं चलेगा वो सब fine, no problem. Prasadam getting over, prasadam getting out of your table without your information is eternal lila. And Prabhupada also said no problem, this can go on. Like day before yesterday only actually on my table I had kept some sweets. Avadut Nimapu had kindly gifted me some sweets, and I got some more sweets actually from Venkatesh Pranad. I kept 2 laddus I gave to one devotee, and then another 4 more laddus were there, and one box more sweet was there. Everything went off, disappeared kind of. And then another Abhay came and said, "Hey, where is that?" I said, "I also don't know." So it went disappeared. It's okay, fine, no problem. Some devotee took it. Fine. So that kind of cheating is fine, no problem. So these things are okay. But specifically to break 4 regulative principles, fine. I'll give one more example. There was a temple president uh, who married one Mataji actually. And this Prabhu um, eventually actually, he was conducting some programs. There he got allured actually. One particular couple came and they said, Prabhu, we want to give one CR donation. And then he said, yes, Prabhu, you can give donation so much and things like that. And he said, actually, if you give in ISKCON account or if you give in this account, that one, things like that, then, we'll have GST and 18% loss will be there and things like that. Why don't you, just directly, give me only and things like that. And this he never told to his other temple, authorities and all. What he did with the money, he took that money and some of it he used actually for his personal purpose. And later how long you can hide actually. Later there was a financial committee that was set up. They found out that actually he did fraud. He was actually removed from the position of temple president. Whatever money actually he looted, more than that actually was again taken back from him. More than that actually, whatever car facilities, everything what he was using it from the temple, everything was taken away back. So we may think that actually he was thinking that he will, do this golmaal without anybody's knowledge and things like that. But then he only got cheated up. Rather, actually, the other devotee was there. He had some financial crunch. He went to the devotees and he said, I'm having financial crunch. Please help me out. Devotee sent out a message. Within 10 days, they, collected almost some 20 lakh rupees or something like that because his mother's cancer operation or something was there. All the devotees gave and he was very happy. So we can express ourselves rather than cheating actually. So we may think that we are cheating others, but we only get cheated up ultimately. Now everybody is doubting his character. He was removed from that position of temple president, and all those devotees who would previously come and fold their hands and offer him obeisance, now they see from him distance only. Now he also don't want to show his face actually to that particular community. He went to some other place, things like that. So if we try to hide actually, then we only get cheated up. Understanding? No? Correct. Śrīla Prabhupāda ki jai.
Thank you for the clarification. Cheating specifically when for this.
No, four regulated. Specific to four regulated.
Actually, before that, I was thinking that first only one chapter receivership. I was thinking somehow I